Hey everybody, Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Got another news update here regarding the Holland America Zaandam and the Holland America Rotterdam. It's March 29th, 2020, and we have some potential good news here I'd like to share with all of you. First of all, thank you for joining me and my channel. Thank you for subscribing to Traveling with Bruce. I know a bunch of you have joined this channel recently, and I really appreciate you following what I'm trying to do for all of us. Also, thanks to all of you giving my videos thumbs ups. Fantastic. Really helps with the analytics on the channel. And your comments, thank you for commenting on my videos, letting me know what you're hearing, especially those of you who have crew members on board ships around the world. It's a great way for me to pass on news to everybody else. If you know something that I should know, send me a direct message on my Facebook group page or send me an email. The address is down below. By the way, you can join our Facebook group page anytime you like. A lot of us hang out there between my live videos, and we share a lot of information there. Traveling with Bruce on Facebook. Ask to join. I'm the administrator, and I'll let you in. And also follow us on Instagram. Traveling with Bruce has an Instagram page. We have a following that's approaching 500 people, and my wife Jennifer handles that one. Now, here's the latest news for all of you. The two ships, the Holland America Zaandam and the Holland America Rotterdam, have been anchored just outside of Panama City towards the entrance of the Panama Canal. They've been quite active the last 4 or 5 days. The Zaandam was coming up the coast of South America towards the Panama Canal with an increasing number of ill patients and passengers, and unfortunately 4 elderly passengers had passed away on board the ship. The Rotterdam had completed her cruises and had disembarked all of her passengers, I believe, in San Diego, and the ship was, I believe, in Puerto Vallarta when the Zaandam was reporting issues. And Holland America sprung into action and immediately had a number of medical personnel flown to the nearest airport to get on the Rotterdam, along with as much medical equipment as they could get that would assist in helping and treating patients and passengers on board the Zaandam. The Rotterdam sailed south while the Zaandam was sailing north, and they met each other where they are now, just outside of the Panama Canal. And a number of things have happened. The medical people and supplies have been brought on board the Zaandam. A number of healthy passengers who've been tested and cleared have been now brought onto the Rotterdam. And the first move that Holland America made was they wanted to get every passenger, if at all possible, out of the inside cabins on the Zaandam and get them into balcony cabins on the Rotterdam. They get all of the ocean view passengers off the Zaandam and into the balcony. And the remaining balcony passengers from the Zaandam who are healthy, transfer them all to the Rotterdam. So the hope was that a high number of the passengers would be off of the Zaandam that are healthy and not showing any issues with regard to the virus. And the first thought was the Rotterdam would then go to San Diego, and the Zaandam, the hope was, would clear through the Panama Canal. Now, as of this morning, March 29th, 2020, we have heard that Holland America believes that they have received permission from Panamanian Canal Authorities to have both the Zaandam and the Rotterdam traverse the canal. We do not know if both ships will traverse the canal or only the Zaandam. The plan had been for the Zaandam to go through, but we had been under the impression that the Rotterdam would go to San Diego. As the day wears on today and tonight, we'll find out. Of course, I'll keep an eye on the positioning of the ships and just see where they end up, and we'll see if the cruise line makes any particular announcements. Now, other news that I can tell you about. Now, this morning, port officials in Port Everglades have insisted that they have not given the Zaandam final approval to come into the port, but media reports and leaks through the press in this area suggest otherwise. We'll stay on top of the story to see if this is truly going to happen. But if the ship does enter the port, it will be brought in. There will be literally workers on the pier essentially wearing hazmat suits. I mean, they're going to be, close to that. But this is something we've seen before. We've seen this in California. We've seen this in Japan. The ill passengers on the Zaandam will be removed as quickly as possible to be taken to area hospitals for treatment if whatever is necessary. Hopefully there won't be any more, but I just don't know. At the moment, it's anywhere from 138 to 150 or so is the number, but we don't have a definitive amount yet. That will likely change. Any passengers showing symptoms of the virus that are not terribly ill, they may be taken to locations for isolation. I'm guessing we're talking about area hotels that might be completely sequestered just for this purpose. But again, I have no details. I believe behind the scenes, a lot of work is being done between the cruise line, the port authorities, and the local health authorities in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. But one thing is clear, the present situation cannot continue. It is a recipe for disaster. Now, the Rotterdam, if it goes back to San Diego, I expect that all passengers getting off the ship there will be several protocols put into place. Anyone becoming ill will immediately be obviously quarantined on board the ship first of all, and then on land, taken to hospital or elsewhere. Those who are not showing symptoms may, especially foreign nationals, will likely be immediately transported to charter flights that are being arranged by various countries. I know Canada is going to arrange flights home for the 200 and something like 69 of them that are on there. There are UK passengers and, of course, a bunch of Americans and South Americans. There will be people flown out quickly to go back to their home countries to, again, self-quarantine or self-isolate when they return. And that's assuming San Diego is where the Rotterdam's headed. If the Rotterdam's headed to Fort Lauderdale, assume the same thing. Same exact thing will happen there. Flights will be arranged for passengers to be immediately flown home, those not exhibiting any outward signs. And those who are will be self-isolated in the area and then allowed to leave after that. That is the latest now on the Zaandam and the Rotterdam. It's definitely better news than I had 2 or 3 days ago. Hopefully this will be resolved fairly quickly. We are looking at about 4 to 5 days, though, the amount of time required to get the ships from where they are now to Fort Lauderdale. If the Rotterdam sails north to San Diego, I am guessing it's 3 or 4 days sail time. It might be a tiny bit quicker, but maybe by only a day. I'll stay on top of the story, everybody. We'll try to keep you posted on what's happening. Thanks again for subscribing to Traveling with Bruce. Thumbs ups and sending me comments. Join me on Facebook and on Instagram. In the meantime, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you later, everybody. Bye for now.